When does a carol become a carol? The singer Chris Rea has been surprised by how many people have referred to his song Driving Home for Christmas as a carol. But should he be? I spoke to him and to the Reverend Dr. Ian Bradley, who's written a number of books about carols and hymns, about how you define a carol.
I'm driving home for Christmas. Oh, I can't wait to see those faces. I'm driving home for Christmas, yeah. Well, I'm moving down that line.
I wrote it many, many years before I actually recorded it. I was not in good state in terms of career, and my wife had come down to London to take me home in her little Mini all the way back up to Middlesbrough. To save money. It was cheaper than the train fares. And we got through North London and, you know, the traffic was just hilarious. And I started seeing everybody being extremely miserable in all the cars, you know, and it was one of those points where I was destined to start writing about people in cars as a new kind of psychology.
But did you think of it as a carol?
I didn't at the point in time. I didn't, but it's a car version of a carol in as much as the Christmas I knew that I loved when I was a child. Christmas brought people together. My father had an ice cream shop, and there was always lots of violence every single day. There was a chance of it, except Christmas. Even people who caused trouble in Middlesbrough became all happy and friendly and joy to the world. And I know it sounds corny, but it actually does work, and I think we need a little bit of that now.
Reverend Dr. Ian Bradley, many people will think it's not religious, or at least it's not overtly religious, therefore it can't be a carol, but that's wrong, isn't it?
It's wrong on two counts, actually. I mean, I think Chris's song is very spiritual. That wonderful line, "Get my feet on holy ground," puts it, I think, much more in the religious category than many a song we sing at Christmas. But actually, carols in their origin have nothing to do with Christianity or even Christmas. They go back to the Latin corolla, or the Greek choros, which was really a circling dance accompanied by singing and associated with pagan religious festivities and fertility rites.
But adopted by the church, obviously, since then, and now seen as a religious thing.
Yes, adopted by the church quite late on, actually. I mean, as late as the 15th century, church councils were condemning carols, which were still seen as very pagan. It was really Francis of Assisi, the man, of course, who's always associated with establishing the idea of the Christmas crib. It was really Francis who brought the carol in from the pagan cold, if you like. And right up to the great Victorian kind of sentimental explosion of carols, most carols would be sung outside churches. They were sung in people's homes, in the streets, and the church was very iffy about them, felt they were very populist, very anarchic, and not really right for singing in church.
It makes one wonder then, Chris Rea, how many other things we should be counting as carols? Things like jingle bells, perhaps?
Well, I love them all. You know, I'm a real sucker for it. I think there is something in the old traditional Christmas that's definitely needed now. Just driving in today, we could do with a bit of snow and jingle bells from some of the driving and attitude I've seen this morning. It's hilarious how lost we've got about Christmas. I think we all need to stand outside and sing.
But Reverend Ian Bradley, does it matter if they're not so religious?
I don't think so. I mean, I rather like Chris's remark, we should be standing outside and singing, which would take us back to the old idea. I mean, I think Jingle Bells, which actually was written, believe it or not, in 1857, was probably the first kind of secular carol. And there've been an awful lot since then, and I mean, they can be very cynical, but I think it doesn't matter too much, and I think we find spirituality often where we're not expecting it, as in Chris's Driving Home for Christmas. There's a lot of modern carols, of course, which are trying to restate the Christmas message. There's a wonderful run, I don't think it's become a great hit, by Albert Bailey, the great 20th century hymn writer, which begins, "If Christ were born in Burnley." And then the contemporary Michael Foster, Baptist minister, wrote, "Mary, blessed teenage mother, out of wedlock pregnant found.
OK, well, Chris Rea, if you have a favourite for Christmas, whether it's a traditional carol or a more modern folk one, what would it be?
Oh, it would have to be the Pogues.
Right.
It's such a gorgeous tune, you know. I think that's one of the elements about surviving carols, is they're all good tunes.
Ian Bradley, what's your favourite?
I think the one I always love singing, and unfortunately no one's asked me for it in any of the services I'm taking this Christmas, is the Calypso Carol, which again is a modern one, written by Michael Perry when he was a vicar in Kent. See him lying on a bed of straw, da la 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 la. That's the one.
OK, well, Reverend Bradley has sung for us Chris Rea. Can you give us, are you prepared to just sing a line of a carol or two?
Oh my God. No, I'm not.
It's too early in the day.
It's far too early, yes. And I'm quite humbled by what I've just heard.
Fair dues. Chris Rea, Reverend Ian Bradley, thank you both very much.
Top to toe in tailbacks. Oh, I got red lights on.
Well, if it matters to you whether your carols are religious or not, do let us know. We'll put some of your thoughts on our website.